expression and blasphemy laws. And since it's a very vast subject, and each and every one of these topics is a topic in itself, I had a hard time to sum all these thoughts that I had. But anyway, human rights, I just gave a very brief outline. As humans, we give ourselves some rights and expect them to be fulfilled. Rights and responsibilities go hand in hand. Governments are responsible to facilitate and actualize these rights. They develop and implement programs, services, policies, and laws to help impart these rights to their citizens so that people could live in harmony. If people ignore their responsibilities, they should be accordingly charged. Justice should be catered to all the factions of a democratic society. Otherwise, the concept of rights would be just a dream. Thus, someone's rights become someone else's responsibilities. For example, a person's right to walk safely on the sidewalk is another one's responsibility to drive carefully. A non-smoker's right to fresh air is a smoker's responsibility to have his puff somewhere else, and so on. Hence, there are laws of restriction upon many activities. Failure to abide by them would cause the machinery of justice to come into action. In other words, you are free to swing your arms in the air, but if you don't stop before hitting my nose, I can sue you. In the Western world, the history of human rights starts with Magna Carta, as we all know. And later on, around 1948, the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights established some rights. We all know them, but I just want to refresh your memory. Among them are a right to liberty, to self-determination, to due process of law, freedom of movement, freedom of religion, peaceable assembly, freedom of association, freedom of thought, and freedom of speech and expression. It's a shame. It's a shame that these human rights are not absolute. Thus, the right to self-determination is not granted, for example, to Kashmiris and Sikhs in the largest democracy in the world. Freedom of movement is highly restricted and controlled for Palestinians. Freedom of religious expression is constrained for some in our own country, Canada. For example, there is niqab ban for citizenship ceremonies. A headscarf, a large crucifix, or a kupa is banned in Quebec. And control on women's attire in France, where a girl was sent home just because she was wearing a long black skirt, like me. The right to freedom of expression is recognized as a human right under Article 9 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But the same article also states that the exercise of these rights carries special duties and responsibilities, and may therefore be subject to certain restrictions. When necessary for respect of the rights or reputation of others, or for the protection of national security or of public order, health, or morals. Common restrictions on speech relate to libel, slander, obscenity, pornography, hate speech, incitement, public security, public order, public nuisance, oppression, fighting words, and more. And fighting words are written or spoken words generally expressed to incite hatred or violence from the target. Fighting words doctrine is also penalized under American jurisprudence. The term offense principle is also used to prohibit forms of expression where they are considered offensive to society, special interest groups, or individuals. Society, special interest groups, or to individuals. And we have those hate speech laws in Canada. Again, we see here that freedom of speech, one of the most accepted and championed human rights, is also not absolute and is curtailed in many countries, including North America. So, for example, we have restrictions on disclosing security documents, information, court case files during the trial or cabinet discussions. A whistleblower of government policies or corruption may be jailed, or even worse. We know about Edward Snowden, who was running for his life after making public the secret files. Recently, a UN aid worker is suspended